Dear brothers and sisters, today is the first Sunday of Advent, year C. We are in a new liturgical year. The message for this Sunday is that of Jesus as the Messiah, the certainty of our hope. We live in a world full of uncertainties, conflicts, calamities, crises, diseases, among others, and the question of certainty becomes so important. In whom do we find the certainty of life? Or sometimes we ask, on whom can we place our hope and surely find certainty? The first reading, the people of Judah are in a serious crisis. They have been surrounded and closed up in the city by the Babylonians, and many of them have died by the sword. Others are dead by famine, and others by diseases. Jeremiah the prophet is suffering together with his people. It is in this context of crisis, in this context of hopelessness and of pain, that God promises restoration and healing for his people. That in those days and at that time, he, God, will cause to grow from David a branch of righteousness. In other words, a descendant of David shall be the branch of righteousness, the branch that will bring restoration to the people. The branch of righteousness is Jesus Christ, in whom his coming is not so much about bringing an end to history, but it's about establishing a new world, joining us to be members of this new world. It is not so much about the end of time, but the redemption of time, in such a manner that his presence provokes us to live our lives differently. His presence as the Messiah inaugurates, opens up for us a new chapter, a chapter that provokes us to live our life and our time in the newness of life. Today, we live in the midst of crisis, and sometimes we wonder, who can restore us? Who can bring us back to peace? Who can heal us? Today, we are all vulnerable to mental disorders such as distress and depression, despite our different vocations or even status in the society and in the church. So many of us are experiencing financial problems, relationship disputes, family conflicts, illness, violence, among others. In such dark moments, where can we find the certain hope that can sustain us in life? Dear brothers and sisters, there is always a temptation at such times to isolate ourselves and even to overindulge ourselves in alcohol, eating, in drugs, and even in other addictions. The answer, when we find ourselves in such dark moments, is Jesus. He is our Messiah. He is our healer. He is the one whose presence brings us into healing and gives us an opportunity to approach life with newness of spirit.